It's been 8 years since the nation was rocked by the killing of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. It was a tragic event that would ripple through the nation. Today, his mother, Sybrina Fulton, is using activism to continue the fight for racial equality. But first, let's look back at how this story began.
He's got his hand in his waistband. Yeah, he's a black male.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
The 17-year-old was killed last month while walking in Sanford, Florida, near Orlando. He was wearing a hooded sweatshirt and carrying candy.
That hoodie would go on to become the symbol of a court case that shined a spotlight on racial injustice in America. In February of 2012, George Zimmerman, a member of the local neighborhood watch, shot Trayvon that night, claiming self-defense, and has since been acquitted.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty.
It's a shooting that would spark outrage throughout the nation and inspire one of its most critical movements, Black Lives Matter.
Enough is enough. We are tired of going to jail for nothing and others going home for something.
Today, Trayvon's mother, Sybrina Fulton, has started a movement of her own.
Of course we're hurting.
Yeah.
Of course we're shocked and disappointed. But that just means that we have to roll up our sleeves and continue to fight.
Since the death of her son, she's campaigned for social injustice and been an activist against gun violence. But now, she's on another campaign, one she hopes will get her elected into government office.
This is not about a black and white thing. This is about a right and wrong thing. Justice for Trayvon. Justice for Trayvon.
Sybrina Fulton, mother of Trayvon Martin, joins us on the panel today. Sybrina, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
We want to start by talking about the man who killed your son, Trayvon, George Zimmerman. He seemingly pops up in the news every couple months. Does it affect you seeing him be able to walk freely and talk about whatever he wants to talk about?
I actually feel like we did not receive justice for Trayvon being killed. But at the same time, a lot of times I don't give it my energy. I don't give it my time. I don't make statements. I don't make comments. I don't interview. I decide when I want to make a statement. I decide, you know, how my mood is, depending on what I want to say and how I want to move forward. So I just don't give it energy. A lot of times when people you know, make comments, you're giving it energy, and I just refuse to do that.
Well, I think that that's such an important thing that you said about where you decide to utilize your energy, because you've decided to utilize your energy in a way that maybe you're even surprised by. Sybrina, your son Trayvon Martin was murdered for being black in the wrong place at the wrong time. Since his unfortunate death, we have seen so many movements catalyzed, such as Black Lives Matter and your foundation, the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Have you seen any changes in our society as a whole since Trayvon's death?
I'm not going to say that Trayvon was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, I think he was minding his own business, and he did what any other 17-year-old would have done. And that's run. You know, he was afraid and he ran. I think with other movements that have gone on, I think the country is more woke now. We're paying attention to each tragedy that happens. I don't call it a story, because a story has a beginning and an ending, and it's no ending for us. You know, it continues until, you know, the cycle moves on to the next story, and the next story, and the next story. But we have to live with this the rest of our lives. And so you know, I have a soft spot in my heart, not only for my own son, but for the Jordan Davis and the Eric Garners and Hadia Pendletons and, you know, all the other young people that we know that were shot and killed, or killed in a different manner.
And sometimes we feel so helpless, especially as African Americans, when we see one black life lost after the next after the next. How do you suggest that we combat and cope with the way we're still being mistreated in America?
It's unfortunate, but it's more deep-rooted than what we see. You know, it started back a long time ago before we were even here. And so it took time for us to get to this point that we're to now, but it's going to take time for us to get out of this mess, you know. And it's saddening to think, and it's depressing. It feels like you're hopeless and helpless and that you can't make a difference. But everything we do, every thought that we think, everything that we can do to help somebody else out is a step to us moving forward and us becoming better human beings, not just for ourselves, but for other people as well. And then we have to change mindsets. That's important too. We have to have people to see us for not being 3/5 of a human. Right. And so we have to change mindsets. We have to let people know that we're human beings too. We have families, we love, we cry, we laugh, we do all of these things just like everybody else. People think that we're some type of, you know, from another country or from another world. We are just like they are. Everybody is the same.
Sybrina, just sitting across from you, I think I speak for my DBL family. These are my sisters here, and it's an honor. I'm stunned at your courage, and you've been able to do something that I don't know if I could do. You've taken tragedy and you've turned it into action. You are now running for commissioner of Miami-Dade County, my old stomping grounds. Lived there for 10 years. That's right. That's right. Shout out to Miami-Dade. Please do us a favor. Tell us about your campaign and tell us how everybody, because our DBL Nation is real and they will get behind you. So also tell them how they can be involved.
Okay. So the reason why, I'm going to start off by telling you the reason why I even ran. I ran because I didn't like what I see going on. And so I have to be a part of the change. I have to try to rectify what I don't like instead of just complaining about it. A lot of people just complain and they stay home. They don't do anything. We have to put action behind what we're saying. And so this is just my type of action. You know, some people rally, some people write letters, some people, you know, they sign petitions, but this is just my part. And so I think we all need to do a part, have to have a part in what's going on. And so that's my main point. I want to be the voice for the residents of Miami-Dade County. I certainly believe that with my voice and my platform that I can bring resources to Miami-Dade County. And I want to be the voice for the people. It's about the people. It's not about Sybrina. Even though you may see Sybrina Fulton standing there, it's about the people and what the people need. And one of the main things that I want to do is I want them to feel safe in their own home. Right now, we don't feel safe in our own home, and I want to make sure that they feel safe. Right now, everybody is saying, oh, well, she just is about gun violence. She just about gun violence. Yes, it's very important because a life is precious. And so I definitely want to fight and decrease gun violence. We're never going to get rid of gun violence because guns are going to be around forever. I don't have a problem with guns. I just have a problem with them falling into the wrong hands and people being shot and killed and people not being accounted for. A thing that if people want to support me, they can go to SybrinaFulton.com and they can support the campaign that I'm running for Miami-Dade County Commissioner.
I can promise you this.
You are so brave. Yes, your information is on the full screen. Sybrina, if you don't mind, we're going to continue this conversation on YouTube and Facebook Live so we can talk more about your campaign. Thank you so much for being with us on Daily Blast Live. Now, if you are in the Denver area, please join us tonight for Sybrina's fundraiser, as well as a discussion and Q&A that I am honored to moderate. We are going to jump the whole thing off with the Crown Act being signed by the governor of Colorado.
Yes.
So make sure that you are here for this historic event to learn more. For more information on the Trayvon Martin Foundation and on Sybrina's campaign, go to the websites on your screen.